let's roll into the next one. Do you need to avoid sugar to lose weight? Let's take a look at what the research shows. So here's a randomized controlled trial in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. This is one of the early ones that really took a look at sugar and its impact in obese women, right? Their average age was 40. They were on a low calorie diet for 6 weeks, eating mostly carbs, 20% protein, and some fat. And what do we find here? Well, guess what happened? All meals were provided, so there was no, cheating, if you will. And then the first group got 43% of their calories from sugar, so that's a ton, right? That's a ton. And the second group was considered the low sugar diet. They only got 4% of the calories from sucrose, from table sugar. So here are the results. And I just wanted to show you this sample menu so that you could see exactly, what they were eating. So if you just take a second to look, what were they actually eating? This is the high sugar diet, right? Kool-Aid, sweet tea powder, marshmallows. You can see, cookies, all those things as compared to the lower. So they had to do that because 43% of their diet had to come from sugar. And once again, they're consuming 1,100 calorie diet. So they're in a calorie deficit. This is the low sugar diet. And you can see there's even aspartame in there, which we'll get to in a second. And so what were the results? Well, here's the graph on body weight changes over time over that 6-week period. What do you notice for the two groups, the high sugar and low sugar? Over time, what happened? Both groups lost similar amounts of weight with no significant differences between the two, right? They both experience lower blood lipids, blood fats, so your cholesterol, triglycerides, and lower blood pressure. And they also, interestingly enough, which is actually not really interesting because, when you lose weight, you feel better. You got decreases in depression and negative mood. So what's the key takeaway here? Sugar, even at 43%, does not prevent weight loss during a calorie deficit. Once again, what are we saying, Neal? Or what does the research show?
Well, at the end of the day, let's face it, weight loss itself, when it comes to health, will trump the method. So if there is sugar in your caloric allotment and you're losing weight, your metabolic parameters are going to be equal to almost anything. So we're not talking about a sugar diet here. We're talking about the fact that there's nothing wrong with sugar in a caloric deficit as long as it's not taking the place of other nutrition. That's all we're saying. Sugar's in everything. A baked potato is sugar, right? It's just glucose polymer. It's glucose just all strung together. That's why it's not sweet when you taste it like it is a piece of candy, because that's all broken up. So just keep that in mind. We're not promoting sugar. In fact, it's quite the opposite, because added sugars are a serious problem, right?
Yes.
Because that gets people addicted to them. So what we're talking about is just, sugar itself isn't the cause of weight gain, and weight loss will trump the method regardless of the nutrients coming in.